Okay, here's the last thing I wanted to say before we get started, is that, the other day I kind of mentioned, there's this study that, if you can get up and off the floor without using your hands, it's an indication of longevity. And the other thing that is an indication of longevity, whatever that means, is the capacity to breathe and to breathe well. And we did this whole practice. Today's Thursday, Tuesday, Sunday. You were here, right? Sunday on the breath and expansion of the breath. And that is just good practice. Just so everything that we do here, expanding the breath is giving you a longer life. That's just a gift with purchase. Okay. I do have a tennis ball too. That's going to be optional. And that's it for my list. So let's begin as we begin. Just taking your yogi sit, lengthening, grounding, feeling into the flow of your breath. Feeling into the space you have created for yourself. Feeling into this gift of time, this great offering for you. And whether, this practice is the one that's going to extend your life or bring you back to the fountain of youth, or whatever gifts of magic are awaiting, you will be somewhat transformed. So just feeling into that, this moment. And as you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart and bow your chin to all that you are. All of your life experiences, everything that's brought you here, everything happening in your life. We'll open this practice and sing Om together 3 times. Inhale to lengthen. Release this breath. Inhale fully. Om. 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 Bowing your chin, place your hands on your thighs, and lift your chin and open your release. Okay, we're going to start with 2 optional, choose your own adventure. It's going to be a foot rub. You either rub your foot, or if you want to stand up and just do some tennis ball love, that's the only standing we're going to do today. So, in this class, you will stand the rest of your day. Okay, so whatever you choose, just doing as we do, where you drop in, and like this is the most important thing you're going to do today. Just being aware of sensations, this moment of connection to the sole of your foot. And at the same time as this is happening, your breath is starting to relax consciously, you're connecting. The jaw is dropping, shoulders are dropping. Okay, if you are footying, if you're massaging your foot, you might take the fingers between the toes, and you're here with the tennis ball, you can always plant and spread. That's always a challenge. So it's working something, just kind of see. And just take maybe 3 more breaths. and take a moment in the pause. Just be with the sensations and the awakening in one side. And even like I'm going to use the word lumpiness in the second side, like feels like there's no vitality there. Okay, and then moving to the second foot. Just notice if you are bringing any tension in, probably more likely with the tennis ball. You just smile. Say this, like, breathe well. Breathe well. So moving fingers between toes if that's where you are. Or just putting your awareness to your toes here. Anything, it all counts. Okay, let's take 2 more, 3 more breaths. Okay, and then we'll stand or sit or wherever you are, just take a moment, be with your feet. Okay, and then we're going to set up. Just going to calm down. Okay, I'm going to set the tennis ball aside. And, okay, the heating pad. All right, so here's how we're going to set up. So I have the blanket is where it is, and then we'll take the 2 other blankets. I'm going to open them up to this long place, and take a moment if you need to refold or you're creating a sacred space. Okay, and then we're just going to roll it up. And sometimes, I like to do the 1/3 roll and then roll it. And you're just going to do that with both blankets. And they're going to go lengthwise here. So I'll move this one over. Same with the other one. And then you'll place something for your head. Take the bolster as well. Okay, so now I have space here. Let's say this. If you know where your sit bones are. So I'm going to line up the ends in my imagination. Maybe not, maybe outer sit bones. Let's see. So when I come back to lie down, yeah, we're going to go wider first. I'm going to feel like the blanket here is underneath the tops of the shoulders. I can feel like my spine is just resting on the floor. Tush is on the floor, and the blanket is going to support, let's say, the sides of your cheeks. So just the sides here are going to be on the blanket roll. The arms will come out. You have something for your head. Okay, I hope you're not lying down just yet, because the bolster is going to come for underneath the knees, and you can put your socks on. Put your heating pad over this whole package if you're using one. And then if you want your warm blanket, your eye pillow, whatever it is. So don't worry too much about the blankets. You're just going to come to lie down. And once we're down, then it's kind of easy to just, roll to one side, tuck it in, or pull it out. Just create this place where the sides of your, let's say the hip, right here on the side, like cheek, hip to bottom of cheek, supported by the blanket, tops of the shoulders, maybe the outer shoulder blade supported by the blanket. Should feel pretty good. And if you have like the arms don't feel good, then just roll over to one side, tuck it in a little bit, see what would feel better. But there should be like a little bit of a drop. Your arms can go low, out to the side. You might want more support for your head. So you just take a moment to just, should feel good. Oh, that's going to come and take the barky dog in a moment. So I have this bolster, it's underneath mostly the top of the calf here, and a little bit behind the knee. So you're just this first time maybe you've been in this, awesome, very supported, lying down on your back. Just take a few moments for you just to really be here. Settle yourself. And after a few moments of adjusting, relaxing, I'm going to take the arms overhead if that feels okay. And where we have the blanket rolls, now maybe the outer shoulder, top of the shoulder, right underneath the underarm is supported on these blankets. And my arms happen to hit this dog pillow quite nice. And maybe yours is supported by the prop underneath your head. And we're just going to rest here. Just feeling the flow of your breath. A gentle hug of the props. Feeling into the softening of I'm going to say the spine, or the length of the mid back. And by mid back this time, I don't mean not horizontally, lateral. See, I lose my words when I start to relax. The length of your spine, letting that whole area from tailbone to the back of your skull. Even imagining as you're breathing that you're bathing the inner space of the inner spine area, the entire length. So your arms can be relaxed. Inviting your eyes to drop. Just deeply surrendering. Held in the carriage of your creation. Okay, so take maybe 5 more breaths here. Like inhale through the nose and exhale audibly through your mouth or even your nose with the ujjayi sound. You seal off the back of the throat and create this audible wave sound with your breath. Really tuning into how the body moves with your breath and feeling the waves in the body. Okay. You're welcome to keep your arms overhead or bring them down. You can rest them, whatever feels good. We're going to bend the knees and place your feet on the bolster, and they could be like heels on the floor, balls of feet on the bolster. You could be right on the bolster. We're going to move into a windshield wiper, and these props here are going to hit right into this softer area, and you're going to decide if you want to even lift the hips up and use this. Maybe you might get a little bit of massage into that shoulder joint as well. Just rocking the knees, very controlled, letting the hips lift. You don't have to. Feeling into how can you use this creation to offer yourself what you need right here. Let's do a few more. Let the jaw go, the eyes drop. Listening to any cracking that might be coming up for you, which is a good thing. It's releasing something. Okay. Just coming back onto your back. Good. Okay. I'm going to take my feet onto the floor, either side of the bolster, just so I can move the bolster over to the right side. You're just going to use your feet, find your hands, bring the bolster up to the right side. We're going to move into twist. So I'll start with your feet on the floor and then just roll over. And here we're actually going to lift. Maybe you're going to lift right up. So now I'm just on, that hip, right hip is supported on the blanket. You can roll yourself more onto the floor if you like, or pull your prop over. Just keep the shoulder there. Maybe the arm comes under your head. Just gonna play, hand is there. So once you kind of have set up, I'm gonna just move the bolster so the whole shin is there. With this nice lift, you might roll right onto the floor and just have this little lift, like be playfully curious. How can you use this blanket on the one side that we're on, the bolster, here for a moment or two. Okay, and I'm going to turn it into twist. So if this works, you open the left arm and you're slowly going to roll, and hopefully this should feel okay and good. Slowly feel that other blanket behind you, underneath you more.
I got it.
Thank you. And then once you've figured out what feels good, and just be there, here. Yeah, I say feels good, but you might have a little bit of pressure with that blanket, but hopefully it's okay. And you can just drop in where you've moved it, make it your own. So hopefully you're comfortable. Here. And you can just be with the breath for the next few moments. And slowly, you might take the feet down, bring yourself back onto your back. Just keep the bolster there on the right side for a moment. So kind of move your props if you need to. I've kind of fit back in nicely in the original shape. So tush is on the floor. Just feel a nice support either side of the cheeks here to the outer shoulders. And take the bolster and just bring it over your body, over to the left side. Okay, and then we'll start again just by rolling completely over to the left side. And you've already done it once, so you know what you need to do. Okay, so just completely on this blanket that was on the left side, hip, shoulder, bolsters underneath, maybe from knee to shin, to foot. There, and then once you've taken some time, then the right arm can come over your head. You're just going to start to drop into the twist here, and you can always pull that
blanket on the right side in more. Maybe you're just going to find a way to nestle in. Maybe the hip, and you play with the placement of the hip, and you take your time. You're going to find your inner comfort some way. Find it. You have all these props, so use them and then use them again as you settle in. Softening muscles of your face, your eyes, back of your skull. Entire length from crown of head to tail. Being with the whole length, spaciousness of each breath. Feel a heaviness in your forehead. Softening in the front of the shoulders. The expansiveness of your heart space with each breath. Making your way back onto your back. I'm just going to bring that bolster back to where we had it. So I'm going to use your fancy footwork to bring the bolster back. Okay, we're going to change the position of these little blanket rolls. So let's say I'm going to put my feet on the bolster. I'm just going to roll to the left, take my hand to the one on the right, and just going to bring it in a little bit closer. Find it. There it is. And then I'll roll over to the right, bring it a little bit closer. So they're not quite touching, but they've gone a little closer towards each other. If you can go all the way up to the shoulder, great. Might take a few little. So now you're going to feel that the sit bones, you can even feel them all the way up to maybe the inner shoulder blade. So the spine is untouched. And you're supported here. You might need more support under your head. You kind of play, see. So the blankets are maybe like spinal distance apart. That feels really nice. Okay, shoulders are, obviously they're going to drop, but they're not hitting the floor. You can stretch your legs out if you like, or keep them bent. We're just going to be held in this carriage. It just popped in my head. It's like a little carriage. Okay, so I have the blanket. I'll just say it again. It's right underneath sit bones, inner, not quite spine, but inner body area. And you play with how you like it. What would feel good. You create your own paradise, your own vacation. Take a few moments. Oh, I have 2 heating pads. The dogs are not. That one. And then I'm going to take the arms overhead again, if that is okay. They can be bent. You can rest, back of one hand into the palm of the other. Just take a few breaths. We just kind of get comfortable with this, whatever this is. Lightly supported off the floor. If you're resting one hand in the other, just change position now. Come back to softening. You could add your eye pillow here, just because you could. Rest the eye pillow mostly on the forehead, and it's just kind of covering the eyes. If you've got one, you could use a sock. Okay, just releasing. The last 5 or so breaths here. Coming back to this idea of the breath, drawing all the way up and all the way down. Entire length of your spine free here, just dropping between the blankets from the tail all the way up and all the way down. Just letting the spinal column in your imagination, or even just feeling it, really release. Let the jaw go. Let it drop. We're going to come back to windshield wiper. Bend the knees, feet on bolster, however you like. Be wider apart. And then just come back to this very gentle rocking. There might be a hip lift. Arms can stay overhead or they can move somewhere else. You're just enjoying this. Okay. You might find, depending how wide you have your legs, as you rock to one side, the opposite knee can drop to the inside of that foot. You roll to the left, the right knee can drop in more. Enjoying. Okay. Let's do a few more. We'll come to center. And we're going to take the bolster and move it over to the left side. So even if you have your eye pillow on, you keep it on. You know where to find your way here. Okay, you take the arms out to the side. Well, we're going to go into twist. I feel like I want to bring the knees in here for a moment or two, and you see how that feels. So maybe rock them in and out. It feels really nice, actually. And stay here for a few moments, whether you're holding behind the thighs or the shins. Drop your shoulders. Breathe. Your child's pose on your back. Okay. So drop the knees over to the left. And just like once again, you'll move yourself, find what feels good. You might keep the right arm open right away, or maybe it comes overhead, or maybe you roll all the way to the left first. Just take your time, find it. Just rest into twist. Just remind yourself to let the eyelids be so heavy. Eyes feel like they're dropping, maybe onto the cheeks or maybe to the back of the head. And darker, moving into the darkness. And the expansiveness of the universe within. Elongated breath. It's opportunity to feel very supported and to let go Maybe you're holding the side waist or in the hip or the jaw somewhere. So a few more moments here. And then you might step the feet down first so you can very gently guide yourself back. And we're just going to be in the center for a moment, feet on the floor, or you might want to stretch your legs out. Just feel what that is, where these blankets end up. Move your feet in and out if you have the legs stretched, or maybe you want to just rock the knees, whatever you need to do to just release and rest in the center. Okay, so roll that bolster across the body over to the right side. I'm going to bring the knees back in. That felt really quite nice. So rock them in and out. You want to play with a happy baby here. You've got these blankets in a nice place. Rock a little bit in your happy baby. Okay, so wherever you are, knees in, happy baby. And we're going to move into twist on the right side. Take your time. Find it. Roll over. And then you might just stay in this twist, or you might have to take your time to kind of feel your way in. Just melting and receiving. Support underneath the right hip, maybe even under the right shoulder blade. Support for the left shoulder. And a great release. Melt ourselves into this like so much water. Water assuming the shape of its container. Final few moments, being with the breath, letting go, softening, deepening. And bringing the feet to the floor, walking yourself back. Just resting there. So do whatever you like with your legs. Be in the repose, rest. The next thing we're going to do is bring these blankets right together. You might be able to do that without coming up. Bend your knees and just walk them in, roll to one side and the other. Just picking the heating pad up. Do your best. Don't worry too much. You know, the shoulders are not right together. It's okay. It's right at the tush area. We want to have them together. Okay, you might walk yourself down on the blankets or up. You know, we made these very nice long blankets. So you just kind of take some time, be playfully curious. And when you feel, oh, I got nice support under the sit bones or either side of the sacrum, the shoulders feel supported, like bring them right close together. You just put your arms overhead. And then the bolster comes back in. Once again, you just stretch the legs out over the bolster. So he's walking the bolster down so that it hits more underneath calf, back of knee, and thigh. Just figure things out in space here. Here's where we're here. So just grab your warmer blanket. Your sandbag can rest on your torso if you're using one. So it would just go lengthwise, like solar plexus all the way down. Cover yourself. And then rest. So we're just going to lie here, just like this, for a little bit. So make it very comfortable, very supported. Want more support under your head. Maybe that's the key. So you just add it in. So here we are. I'm just going to add a little breath play. So we have this nice open, and the shoulders are dropping, chest is open. Now exhale completely. Inhale all the way to the top. Maybe you pause there. And then it's almost like an unhooking. Maybe there's a little inhale and an exhale. All the way to the bottom. And we pause. And then we unhook, a little exhale. And then inhale. So you're just going to pause and then just a little inhale. Exhale, you'll pause for as long as it's comfortable. Exhale a little more and inhale. Okay. Just do a few more rounds. Playing with the breath. Maybe doing 2 more, lingering in the natural pause for as long as it's comfortable. And then release and just drop into normal breath. Okay, we're going to come to windshield wiper again. So put your feet on bolster, off bolster, either side, wherever. The blankets are together. Just going to double check. Just put my hands underneath, just give it a little push. And then we'll just start to windshield wiper here. Okay, that feels good. Maybe it's very slow. You might want to take your sandbag off. Feels like it's a hindrance. You might put your feet on the floor on either side of the bolster. You get a little bit more space. And then the inner knee might drop right on the bolster. Let's kind of see. Just rowing your boat. Lift the opposite hip. Okay, we're gonna come back to center. I'm just gonna take the sandbag off. I'm gonna bring the knees back in. I just like rock them in and out or roll side to side. Just savor this opportunity. Just hugging the thighs in a little closer and walking my hands and down the shins. Awesome. Okay, so just release. Bring the bolster once again over to the right side. You might hug the knees in and then roll to the side, or you might walk your feet over, just be kind. Once you're here, I'm just gonna wiggle the hips back so I have the right hip is in between these two blankets. Might walk the shoulder back so it's in between the two blankets. Just kind of feel. Okay, I'm gonna open the left arm out. So I feel now I'm kind of resting. Right hip is now it's more on the right blanket, but it's also you can feel the back blanket there. No, there's no right or wrong. Just use your feet, readjust yourself. Find a twist here that feels supported, and also bringing in new angles. The left arm might be happier over your head. That's fine. Whenever you get into a place that you can drop in, your head might turn a little bit more to the left. Just here and twist. Nothing to do once you're here. You just receive. I'll tell you one thing I do feel here. If the blankets are, where they are, I feel that this hip is getting a little bit of a higher lift than the knees. And so if you're noticing that, this little slope, that's just something to notice. Very nice. Just drop in. Just going to bring in that breath play again. Maybe exploring the 4-part breath with this little unhooking at the top and the bottom. Almost like it's a long S with 2 little hooks on either end. It could also just be an inhale, a pause, and exhale. You let go of anything you're holding, even if the breath work is making things tense in other places, let it go. Just be with normal breath. And then using your feet to the floor, bring yourself back onto your back. And stretch your legs out, arms over your head. The feet can flop. You might move the feet in and out, whatever feels good. Just resting in the center line. When you're ready, find that bolster and just roll it across your body, the left side. And then finding, take your time. I'm going to start this way. I'm going to feet on the floor, lift the hips. I'm going to shift the hips over to the right and then roll to the left. And oh yeah, that worked for me quite nicely. So there's still going to be some snuggling and some moving around. And it's all good. Okay. Might be happier with the right arm over your head. So be playfully curious as you are. Head might turn a little bit more to the right. To bring in that breath play, or just find your own rhythm that connects you to the movement of the body with each breath, rising, the falling, expanding and contracting. Fluid of you, like so much water, so much space. So much to explore and to know and to feel into. And unfurling, so feet to the floor, realign yourself, rest, however you like, legs straight or bent. Just receiving this final few moments of the props where they are. I'm going to offer this for Shavasana. So I'm going to bring that bolster back in. There it was, a little bit of leg play. And I'm going to just take each blanket out. Just move it out. I'm going to bring them back in. I'm just going to move them out so that you're completely resting on the floor. And then you're just going to squish it in beside you. You might pull them down if you don't like the support underneath the shoulders or the upper arms. It's just to give yourself a little bit of a hug. And then we'll stretch the legs out if you're happy there. I'm going to put my blanket. I'm going to add the sandbag back in. And you can do that without disturbing too much of your positioning. So move the blankets anywhere that feels good. You want to put them underneath the hips. You can make a little triangle. So they're wider at the top and the bottom. Just kind of put them wherever you like. That actually is nice. Just kind of brought the bottom tips together to create more support underneath the tush cheeks. That feels nice. Wherever you put them is good. I'm just going to rest here. Dropping into your sacred space, the sacred time of resting, breathing. Consciously letting go. Relax your jaw, sides of your neck, the back of your skull, your eyes, your forehead, your tongue, your right cheek, your left cheek, back of your heart, your sacrum, your legs, soles of your feet, the crown of your head, your right arm, your right hand, your left arm, left hand, right hip, right leg, right foot, left hip, left leg, left foot, entire body, entire body. It's dropping into the deepest state of rest right now you can. Stay in your rest for as long as you like. You're going to come out. You're going to start just moving the feet, bend the knees. It's going to take these blanket rolls out completely and just rest. Support the arms with the blanket rolls for a few moments. Legs stretched straight or bent. Stay running these connecting to the floor in the way we haven't done yet. Staying here for as long as you like. Just taking the sandbag off. Hug the knees into the chest. And stay there for a little bit. Just massaging your back. Releasing. Also receiving. And when you feel ready, swing to your side and rest there for a few moments. So coming to sitting, always optional. Just stay as you are. And whatever you choose, just savoring this time of renewing, reminding, resourcing, rejuvenating, and reminding yourself of this, deep relationship with your inner nature, your natural world. Creating fertile space. As you inhale, lengthen. You exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your chin. Seal this class, I think just with one, gentle om for yourself. Inhale. Bowing your chin, great honoring, love, and devotion. Namaste, friends. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Stay. Feelings today. Much love. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.